Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and today I've got an updated video on an updated ICS Fab third brake light mount for the 5th gen 4runner. Earlier they made a different style, I believe it was polymer. This one's an aluminum one. It's held together a little bit differently. The lights are recessed, and so you actually remove the flush mount plates on it. And it's going to sit right here. It replaces the third brake light. They actually use a modified third brake light harness from Toyota. So these LEDs right here, they will work as your third brake lights, and you control these lights with whatever type of switch controller you would like, whether it's a Garmin power switch, Switch Pro, aux beam, it could be an on-off button, whatever you'd like, okay? So we're gonna go through step by step on how to install this all the way from the brake light all the way to the power controller. Okay, so you're gonna need a roll of wire. I'm gonna run each light independently. This is 14 gauge solid copper wire. I'll link it in the description from Amazon. You're also gonna need a Phillips screwdriver to take the third brake light loose. And then you're gonna need some type of wood clamp. So once you put that up there, you'll be able to clamp that mount in there and hold it until that double-sided adhesive tape dries. You also need a 10mm socket with a ratchet or some type of nut driver that drives a 10mm to go ahead and remove the spoiler. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and remove this plastic trim piece panel. That's just clipped in, and so you can give it a tug. I'm gonna do it off camera just so I can use both hands because I'm holding the phone right now. And then what that will allow to happen is this wiper blade will be clear, so when you lift the spoiler, the wiper blade stays on the hatch, and then you can remove the spoiler separately once you unbolt it. One of the tools that I forgot that you might want to use is this bone tool or a plastic trim tool, and you're going to stick that up in here and loosen that up. It has some white clips in there you can see. And then I also just rolled down the rear window to give me some access to move around and release it. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, so there's those white clips that I was talking about. That's what you're releasing. And then you can see there's the wiper motor. So that's going to stay there with the hatch. So now we're going to open up the hatch and I'll show you how to remove the spoiler. Okay, so we have the hatch open now. Here's 1, 2, 3, and then I've already removed this one. Here's 4 plastic type rubber grommets. You're going to remove those, and there's the 10mm. You can just remove them like this, kind of give them a pinch like that, and then they come off. So that's 2. Sometimes it's hard to hold a camera and do that. 3, 4. So I'm going to unbolt the spoiler and then unplug the third brake light and show you what we got. Okay, so there's the 4 bolts out of the spoiler. What you want to do next is with that trim piece down, you can unplug the third brake light and the wiper motor. I'm going to see if I can do this with one hand on camera. Like that. And like that. And then I should be able to lift the spoiler off, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so right there, and right there. So there's also these green clips there that will slide in. So even when you take the bolts out, the spoiler will stay, and you do have to shut the hatch because it won't allow you to lift up on it to remove it with the hatch open. With the spoiler removed, all you have to do is remove that Phillips screw, and the third brake light will be loose. And then we'll take out the harness. Okay, with the third brake light removed, you'll be able to see there's a plug there, and it comes out there. And then from ICS, what we want to do is attach this to pull it through and come out. And then that is going to attach to the plug that's up here that runs to the car harness. So ICS has taken care of that for you, and that's how the LEDs work. But plug this in or tape it to it so you can pull it through and not try to have to snake this through in a difficult manner. Okay. Actually, go ahead and pull this harness out, and then what I didn't realize is this connector from ICS, it won't go through that hole. So the way that they set it up, which is super smart, they went ahead and give you some connectors to attach. These run the third brake light. So I had to go ahead and run the harness through that slot, and then out of this hole. It wasn't easy, but I had this hook pick tool and then just kind of fished in there, pulled them out gently, and now it's connected. What I'm gonna do now is get my wire run through here and get started, and then come out through there. And then once I get my wires ran and connected, then I can go ahead and put my third brake light mount on while I run the rest of the wire to the front of the car. Okay, I'm running out of daylight a little bit here, but I went ahead and got the wires cut, butt connected, and heat shrinked on both of them to the S2 Pros. For S2 Pro, the white wire goes to the positive and the black wire goes to the black wire. I'm gonna feed those through. I've got the third brake light here connected, so the LEDs should work. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this ICS. They even throw in an alcohol wipe to wipe that down. And then what I will do is pull this tape off, attach it to here, and then put my wood clamps on it and let it wait while I run the wires up through the headliner. And it might be hard to tell, but I've got about 20 foot of wire to run. So hopefully that's enough to get to the power switch. Okay, so I got the screws in and the tape applied. I'm gonna use these wood clamps here to hold that. The next step is running the wires through the headliner up to the front of the car through here. So let me show you how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so what I did is I removed that grommet there, ran the wire in through here, and then I slid one wire through already, and then I've taped this wire here to it to pull it. I might be regretting using two separate wires to control the lights because it is going to be a little bulky. And then once this is in here, it's going to go down in this hole. I'm going to lower the headliner, and then I'll pull the rest of the wire through and run it up the headliner, down the A-pillar, and go from there. But I got to get about 20 foot of wire, 14 gauge, through this grommet and down. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the third brake light kit mounted. Got the wires ran through this grommet. They follow this channel right here. I'm gonna put that black trim back over there, and it goes through that grommet, down through here. I fed it through here. Now I just need to lower the headliner and run them up. Let me tell you what, trying to get all the wires through this part, running 2 wires per kit, like one wire controls one light, one wire controls the other light. That might be a little bit much. I might be regretting that, but we're gonna make it because we're this far. So I've already got the bolts back in the holes. It might be hard to see because it's dark outside, but there's that one. There's that one. So I gotta put the grommets back in, put that through, and then we'll be moving up front. Okay, to get this in here, this was a little bit more of a pain in the neck than I thought, but once I figured out how to do it, you want to pop loose. There's like 1, 2, 3. There are these little Christmas tree things, and then you can loosen up this panel, and then also take this panel loose. It goes right here along that window. Just pull down on it, and you can see my wire ran right there in the reflection. I just need to tighten that up, and then you can see it hanging there. So that's how you get it to that front piece. I'm expecting it to go easier by the other front 2 doors, but I'm gonna run it down the headliner. That's my plan, and it seems to be kind of easy, but I think I dropped one of these like clips somewhere, so I'll go looking for it tomorrow. But let's move on to the front. Okay, so this is the front door, the driver's front door. I ran the wire through there, and then I removed the A-pillar. All you have to do is take that 10mm out. The panel will pop off, and then I ran the wire down through there. This is removed right here. I'm gonna try to sneak in here so you can see that red and black wire is the wires for the rear lights. Then I've got this mess here on the front floorboard, and then I'm gonna run it up through that grommet right there. Let me see. Then I'm gonna run it through this grommet right there where the other wires are, and it's gonna come out into the engine bay. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll get to the engine bay, and I'll show you how to hook up to the power switch. Okay, so it's daylight again. I finished this up at 1 a.m. last night, or technically this morning. And so I did get the wires ran through the bulkhead last night, and then currently I'm running one light here off the Garmin power switch, and then here's my common grounds for all the other lights, and one of them is for the S2s. So I'm gonna play around with it, see if I like it in the strobe or chase light or just solid. Long term I might just join these 2 wires and run them off of one control, because now I'm down a couple circuits for other lights. But that's just kind of the downside of the Garmin power switch, but I love the features of it, so I'm gonna keep it, maybe expand to a second one later on down the road. Okay, so that wraps up the install. I'm super happy with the clean installation from everything from the spoiler through the headliner into the engine bay. And now I get to play with them with the Garmin power switch. I can use them as reverse lights or chase lights or just camp lights or scene lights. Really anything that you can think of to use these lights. And then of course the main benefit is you get the third brake light LEDs, and it's plug and play from ICS Fab. This is what it looks like just with one strobing and one solid. I'm gonna leave you with some nighttime footage of what they look like strobing and solid, of course, as well. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me and the channel. If you'd like to be a patron too, please head on over to patreon.com/Tim the Trailman. And thank you again for ICS Fab making such an awesome product. This is not a sponsored video. I just love the product. If you'd like to see more content like this, hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.